Hey, how you doing, everybody? This is Justin Johnson, and I'm doing this live stream today on rhythm guitar. Basically, I want to answer a bunch of questions that I've gotten recently on playing rhythm guitar and, creating a solid rhythm with your guitar playing. And also, I want to encourage you, if you're watching live, to ask some questions too, because that's the great thing about being able to do this in this interactive way, is that you get to ask questions and I get to answer them. So the last song I was playing, I was basically just making something up on this 3-string guitar that was built by my buddy Cass from YouTube. And, I was just starting the song the way I start a lot of the songs when I'm writing or when I'm improvising something in a performance, is I start with the rhythm. The rhythm is the essential part of the song, where I believe, most of the other parts kind of fall in around it to, give that some body and some life. And on that last song, I was basically playing the drums with my right hand, because when I think about rhythm, whether it's on a stringed instrument, on anything, I think about the rhythm sort of like a drum beat. You're creating a beat, this danceable thing you can tap your foot to using whatever instrument you have in your hands at that moment. So, if I don't do anything with my fretting hand over here and I just play that same song, what it starts out as is the rhythm. it's in 4/4 time. But you can tell it's not just 1, 2, 3, 4. There's what's called syncopation to it. And that's when you kind of speed up or pull back a part of the rhythm to create this effect. And like, it's basically the thing that makes you do this, you know, when you're listening to something funky, or you're listening to like a bluesy shuffle, or you're listening to something that just makes you want to dance a little bit. It's usually because of that syncopation. So instead of being like, that's straight, da, 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 to syncopate that, I would drag maybe the second and fourth note. So you can tell, even that simple form of syncopation already has this drag to it and makes you feel a little different. So take a blues shuffle like this, for example. This is what I'm doing with my right hand. That's syncopated again, and I'm accenting what's called the backbeat. So if I were to count that, I would count 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. When I hit the 2 and the 2 and the 4, I'm hitting it a little bit harder, and I'm dragging it just a little bit. That's called the backbeat. 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4. If I were not doing that, it'd be like 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. It would just be, again, like that metronome sound. When I put music to it, you can hear that it's that blues shuffle beat. So you hear how that drum beat, that rhythm is going throughout this whole rhythm guitar part? Try to keep my right hand, my strumming hand, consistent, whether I'm playing rhythm guitar or I'm incorporating maybe some lead melodies into that. I don't stop that rhythmic motion of my strumming hand when I start playing melodies. You know, so I wouldn't play a rhythm and then break into lead. It sounds like I'm stopping the rhythm in order to play those lead lines. Instead, I would keep my rhythm, basically, again, playing those drums. That's how I think about it. I'm still playing the rhythm on my right hand, but I'll incorporate some melody lines or some lead lines or accompaniment parts into my left-handed playing, but keep my right hand basically playing those drums. That backbeat going the whole time. Even if I stopped to play lead lines, I'd keep that rhythm going. It takes a lot of practice to be able to do that, you know, play those rhythmic syncopated string hits while playing lead at the same time. but I can tell you from experience it's some of the best practice you can do. And it also helps you, you know, even if you have a drummer, bass player, full band, big band, whatever you have behind you when you're playing lead lines, if you practice playing with no rhythm and you try to accentuate those rhythmic elements of your playing while you're practicing, then when you do have people backing you, you're going to be able to sync up with those syncopations, those rhythms, very naturally, and it's going to help your ability to just sound organic with a, you know, with a band with more people playing. I'm going to switch over to the 6-string. You know, whether you're playing on a 3-string guitar, 1-string, 4-string, you know, 6-string guitar, a tuba, whatever instrument you're playing, it's going to be the same. You know, you're going to be approaching rhythm the same way. You're going to be wanting to accentuate that syncopation. You want to basically, whatever the drums are doing, whatever the other members of the band are doing, you want to be right there with them on that swing. You know, that's one of the things that, you know, when I was playing jazz, when I was playing in big bands and jazz combos, the swing is what, you know, you're locking into. You want every member of that band to sound like it's basically one player playing. You want that rhythm to be locked in so tight that you just can't tell when one person stops and another starts. Is there a question?
What are you tuning to?
On the last instrument, the 3-string guitar, I was tuned to an open E tuning, and that's E on the low string, and then B, and then E. And those are bigger strings, so it's very much like an open G tuning, which is G, D, G, only it's down a step and a half, starting on an E. So that, again, that's E, B, E for that open E tuning. And on this guitar, I'm just tuned to standard tuning. And this is the Little Crow guitar. It's my signature, Justin Johnson signature Little Crow guitar. And you can check out their work at littlecrowguitars.com. I love this instrument. It's got a, it's called a P180 pickup. It's like two P90s, so you pull it out, and it's a humbucker. You push it in. It's a single coil, so it's like a P90 or like a humbucker P90, depending on which setting you have that on. So it's real simple. You basically have one pickup that acts like two, and you have one volume knob to switch between those. Again, you can go to littlecrowguitars.com. Check out some other videos of me playing these. They just released this model. Again, it's the Justin Johnson signature 6-string blues plank. And again, I'm tuning this to standard tuning, which is starting low. It's E, A, D, G, B, and E. And you know, when I'm practicing a new rhythm, if I really want to learn a new rhythmic style, what I'll do is I'll put a song on that's in that style, whether it's a genre, let's say it's reggae or gypsy jazz or blues or funk, you know, whatever the genre. This is a technique, a practice method that I've developed for myself that has basically been the most helpful practice method that I've found for learning new rhythms. And that is to listen to a song and basically don't worry about what you're doing harmonically with your left hand.
Wait a minute. What kind of tuner are you using?
What kind of tuner am I using?
Mm-hmm.
This is a tuner that was sent to me by Diodario. They've sent me some different products to test out, and I love this tuner. It's a clip-on tuner, again from Diodario, the string company, and it's great. It's one of the most seamless, you know, clip-on tuners you can do or you can get. Also, because it's almost attached to the guitar itself, it's not at the end of like a long peg or antenna. It never like gets old. You know, a lot of those other tuners that I've had, the clip-on tuners, get old after a couple months of use. This one I've had for about 5 months, no, probably about 6 or 7 months now. Used it the whole time, and it's still working really well. It's chromatic. It also has some different features. You know, you can calibrate the different tunings and that kind of thing. But I just love it because you can almost, you know, you almost can't even tell it's there when you flip it to the back of the headstock. It's got an LED display on it. So definitely, I definitely recommend those products from Diodario. Yeah, like what I was saying, if I want to learn a new style, I'll play the song and I'll mute the strings with my fretting hand. So I just lay my fingers over the strings to where no sound really comes out. It's almost just like a percussion instrument. It actually almost feels like a washboard, you know, like playing washboard where you run your fingers up and down. and I'll play along to the drums mainly. Just like this. And what happens is you're simplifying your practice method, and that's what you should always be doing when you're learning something new. Start simple before you get more complicated. It's like juggling. You don't start by juggling, 3 chainsaws your first day. You start by juggling like 1 ball, and then 2 balls, and then 3 maybe, and then work your way up to machetes, and then But you don't want to just start learning a song like, okay, I'm going to learn all these complicated parts and all the lead parts, and I'm instantly going to be really fast and great. You start, you break it down, and you get that muscle memory built up. And then play it without the song and try to create that same rhythm with just your picking hand. And then once you get a nice strong rhythm, incorporate the chords, just something nice and simple. So you can start getting more complex, keeping that rhythm going. And I just did something there that also I recommend. When I hit that note, I didn't want to hit any of those rhythmic plucks that I was doing before, but you can tell my arm, my picking hand is still picking. I'm just doing it away from the guitar, so. So it just carries that momentum of that rhythm for me. I don't have to think about it. I don't have to stop and go. And then I'm not naturally coming back to it yet, so. Someone asked what amps do I use, and this amp that I'm using right here it's my go-to, portable amp. Notice it's not plugged into anything. It runs off of 6 AA batteries. This is the Roland Street Cube amp, and this is actually an older model. They have a newer model here, but it has all the same features on it, and they've actually added some cool new features to their newer versions. They're affordable. They're heavy duty. I mean, I have not been easy on this thing for years, and somehow it's still just as good as the day I got it. It has 2 channels, a mic channel. Basically, it's like a little small PA right here where you can plug a microphone or another instrument in. And then it's got this guitar channel where it has these different, amp simulators. Right now it's on the classic stack setting. It's got effects, delay, reverb, a 3-way EQ on here. And I've also got a smaller version, a 1-channel version of this same amp that's called the Micro Cube. And it's not quite as loud, but it has all the same tonal options. So, you can get approximately the same tones you can get out of the Street Cube on the Micro Cube, and do it in a much smaller package. I also, for the stage and for studio, I've always loved Fender amps, and I use a Fender Princeton amp for a lot of my concerts. and I love the Fender tube sound. I've always been a big fan of the Twins and DeVille's Deluxes. Had just about every Fender amp over the years, and I found recently I really love the way the Princeton sounds, because I like that naturally overdriven Fender sound. And you can get that from the Princeton. You can still get a clean sound, but when you dig into the Princeton amp, it just overdrives it in that way that gives you that like nice sweet spot where you have a little bit of graininess to the tone, but you still get that clean Fender sound that's so good. This right here is a one-string diddley bow, and this was built by Andrew Cook Ceramics out in Ireland. And this is just an amazing example of one-string diddley bow, a traditional one-string instrument. And he built this all by hand from objects in and around an old racetrack that he built his workshop and studio at. The clay was dug by hand and fired by hand. The pickup was hand wound. Everything on it was hand carved, hand torched the wood here to turn it black. Just everything about it. It's got this cool mojo to it. Again, that's Andrew Cook Ceramics. You can find him on Facebook or search for him. I'll also put a link up on this thread so that you can check out his site as well. But you know, the diddley bow is a great instrument for learning how to play rhythm as well, because it only has one string. You have to make as much music as possible out of the fewest ingredients as possible, and that's what's great about the diddley bow. I always think of it as like the personal trainer of stringed instruments. If you want to pinpoint a technique and develop it, this is the baby to do it on right here. So again, you know, if you want to start with a rhythm, I'm going to use a pick right here. Sit around and do this, and this is great practice for developing your rhythm. So much of developing ability on a stringed instrument or on any instrument is just repetition. Good guided repetition. You know, I want to sound, when I play one string, I want it to sound like a whole band is playing, so I have to start again with the rhythm. Because that's the part of it, the heartbeat of it, the part that gets you tapping your foot, in your head. So I'm playing it basically like a drum, you know, I'm not even using the slide right now. Fun like that, I mean, just about anywhere with one string. But if you add the slide and keep that rhythm going, then you can start adding melody and kind of get the idea of harmony going, even though you're just playing one string. Just like drum rudiments. So, the key to what I'm saying basically, and this is the thing that I really want to convey with to people who are learning how to play rhythm instruments, whatever kind of rhythm guitar you're learning how to play, is just basically forget that it's even a guitar. Play it like it's a rhythm instrument, because it is a rhythm instrument. It's also a harmony and a melody instrument. If you don't serve the rhythmic parts of the song, then the harmonies and melodies aren't going to convey the same message. So just mute those strings, play the same songs you already play, but just try to strengthen up the rhythm. And again, play it like a washboard almost, just like a drum or something like that. And I guarantee you, a couple hours of playing like that and practicing over songs that you already know, you're going to go back to them and people are going to say, like, what happened with that song? That song sounds way different, way better. I guarantee it. And, keep coming back for more live streams. Don't forget to like the band page, the Justin Johnson band page here on Facebook. And what's the,
Share it.
huh?
Tell them to share it.
Yeah, and please share the live stream. Thanks, Nikki. And everyone say hey to Nikki back there. She's behind the camera working hard back there. Thanks again, everybody. See you next time.